let's see what's happening, shall we? Good morning. Just checking the computer. Can't see that over there with my glasses on there. Good morning. It's Thursday. It's just before 11, so I'm just setting up. Are we here now? Oh yes, there I am. Got a white t-shirt on. Just me watching so far, that's okay. Right, let's mute the computer. Otherwise I should be able to hear myself in stereo. Right. Oh, no, Lynn's watching, Tracy's watching, Kit's watching. Morning, girls. Morning. Right, so how are we all this morning? Have we had a good week from Monday to Thursday? I've had a very busy week. I've been in the garden making my catalogue, bookmarks. I've done my labels for all my catalogues. I've just got a couple of bits and pieces that I'm just waiting to arrive to go in my catalogues, and then they're winging their way to my customers, which is really good. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I can't wait to get them out to everybody because I love this catalogue. I still have not played with any of the new stuff apart from my 12 by 12 paper or cardstock because I needed that for my bookmarks. But that's it. That's all I've played with. So this week I'm going to be finishing the bits I need to do for that, and then I'm going to start playing with the new stuff because next week you will have the catalogues in your hand. So that's really good. I've got a giveaway from the catalogue that I'm going to do. And there's a couple of competitions that are going to be running through June and July for different bits, but you'll hear more about those later on. So I'm quite excited. There's going to be a lot going on because by the sounds of it, we're going to be in lockdown for a bit longer. So, well, as lockdown as it is at the moment, but still not able to meet in large groups. So, but there you go. So today's stamp set is using stuff that is in the new catalogue, but it's it was released in April, I think, and it's from the Ornate Garden Suite, and we're going to be using the Ornate Style stamp and also the Ornate Thanks stamps, and I'm going to be showing you how to use your Stamparatus so you can create two cards at the same time, which is really cool. So, I think I better turn the camera down and around so you're facing the right way, and let's get going on this. Right, okay, give me 2 minutes. Down, around. Whoops, hang on, let's go up a bit. Did you all feel seasick then? Sorry. Tracy's going to play with her kit later. Good morning, Suzanne, as well. Right, good morning. These are what we're going to be making. They are made with this beautiful stamp set, which is Ornate Style, which is, it's a red rubber stamp set. So it's a cling stamp set. So it's got this beautiful big image, then the little images. It's really pretty actually, and it does, I'm pretty sure from memory, have dies to go with it, but I don't think I've opened them, to be quite honest, yet. Perhaps it doesn't. It does have dies, but I don't think it cuts the flowers out. Perhaps not. Anyway, I love this and the single daisy, really beautiful. And again, we're going to be using the Ornate Thanks, and I'm showing you how to create sentences from all of these bits. So that's the two sets we're using. So I'm working on Mossy Mean. Well, that's a good start, isn't it? Mossy Mean cardstock. I wonder if Stampin' Up ever come up with names like that. Bad Brown. Petrifying Pink. God, you must be able to come up with some. Come on, girls, I'm sure. Let me read in the comments later if you come up with any of those. Mossy Mean Yeah, I prefer Mossy Meadow actually, but there you go. You have to have some bloopers in these, don't you? So anyway, so I'm using Mossy Meadow cardstock and Very Vanilla. And I'm done inside as well. And I've rounded my corners because I like the effect of this on the corners. So this is this one. We've used Old Olive. This is Petal Pink. Can you see the, I'm hoping you can see the shimmer. Can you see the shimmer? I'm hoping in the light it's catching enough that you can see it. They're all shimmery. All of these are very, I don't know if you can you see it? I'm hoping so. Anyway, so they're all, the bigger flowers are a bit shimmery, bit of Winker Stella. So I've coloured them differently, but you stamp both of these bits together at the same time. So I'm going to pop these just up here, and I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. Now, don't forget on your Stamparatus, do not clank your magnets together. It's not a good idea. They will break. So on my Stamparatus, I have a piece of foam. I don't need that for a minute. It's the foam that comes with it. We'll need it in a minute. I also have a piece of grid paper. Doesn't really matter which way round you pop it, okay? And I've got my stamp. Now, I'll explain about lining your stamp up in a minute, okay? What you need is 2 pieces, and I know they don't fit exactly. You need 2 pieces that are 3 7/8 across by 5 5/8 down. And I'm sorry because I haven't got that in centimetres with me today. Very unprepared on that. And you just pop them like this. So they're butted up against each other on your Stamparatus, okay? Let's push that up so you're in shot a bit more. So they're just lined up against each other. Before I put the magnet on, I'm just going to double check. Right, okay, so I'm going to pop the magnets down here. Right, so this is, let me take this off. This is the large image. It's still inked up from previously. And what I did was, before inking it up, I laid it down so the image came off the end of this cardstock because I wanted the flower to go up the centre of both of them, okay? So I'll grab my memento, ink it up, check they're lined up, and press it down. Now don't forget, because you're using the Stamparatus and your paper is being held in place, if it doesn't go fully, that one hasn't actually for some reason. Oh, I wonder if that was hooked underneath. Let's try again. It might have been hooked underneath and I might be about to spoil the whole thing. If it does, don't panic. We'll turn it over and redo it. I could cry in a minute live on video. No, there you go, that's fine. So it has done it, okay? So that's fine. So what you then do, I've got a dirty mark on my finger somewhere, is take your magnets off and turn your paper 180 degrees. Okay? And again, line them up, making sure they're not one over the top of the other. Just pop your magnets down, okay? Ink up your stamp again. Pop it down. Okay, lift it back up. So we've got 2 separate sides of our cards done already. Okay, right, take your magnets off. The next one, you're going to push it. I've got to remember how I did this now. That's going back there. So we turn it that way and that way. Okay, so we're now working on the centre again at this end. And I need to turn them this way. Okay, now these ones will need to come out further. Okay, oh, magnet did exactly what I've told you not to do. And again, I have got washi tape around my magnets to protect them. So you can line it up. I did that one, I can't have had them quite equal. And just gauge that when you bring your plate down, you don't go too far over the other flowers. Just touching is a really good idea. You know when you do something and it goes really well and you think, I'll do that. And then you realise it's not quite as easy as it was the first time. This could be one of those moments. Okay. Bring it back up. So then we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to bring that corner in. So we're kind of turning 180 degrees. And that one in. Make sure they're lined up. Okay. We don't want them overlapping. Pop it. Oh, did you see that? That's how strong those magnets are. Oh, it moved it. Look at that. Right, there you go. As you can probably tell, Dolly does not like being shut in the kitchen when I'm doing these. It's not that she's spoiled, of course. Right, so definitely got a dirty mark on that finger. Right, so that's what you're going to end up with, okay? So then we're going to remove them, and we need our backing paper, our backing foam, because the next one we're going to work with is photopolymer. I'm just going to turn that one over. I'm going to remove this stamp tray thing and put this one on. Now, when I lined this one up, I made sure that it was going to be in the centre so I could then line my stamp up, okay? Actually, I had my paper in that way. And I've got a little mark here, and in theory, I'm saying in theory, that will then stamp in the... So I've marked my grid paper so that each time I know exactly where I'm going to pop the card base. So again, I'm just going to pop my magnets on just to hold it steady. I'm going to ink up my sentiment, and this sentiment says, just wanted to say thank you. I think thank you is a thing that all of us seem to be saying a lot these days. Right, just going to pop it down. And because this is photopolymer, you need the foam pad underneath because it does the same job as the foam does on the back of the cling stamps. Just press that down. There you go. There's that one. Oops. Remove that one. And then I've got my little mark, so I can pop my cardstock back in against the mark. Okay. Double check that it's okay. Pop my magnets on. Ink. Ink my stamp up. No. Yeah, ink my stamp up. Pop this down. I have a horrible feeling that's going to be a delivery coming to the door. That would be awkward, wouldn't it? Because it's just me. Yeah, wait for it. Pop, oops, don't want to do that. Oh, and again. Two separate ones. So that's that. So that's everything with your Stamparatus. Okay, so I'm going to pop this to one side. I'll clean that off later. and that one. So the next thing to do, okay, is to, we're going to colour, but also to round your corners. I don't want that one, I want this one. Right, so this is the Stampin' Up one, so I'm just popping each one. In fact, you know what, you can do this as a pair. Pop it in, pop it down. There you go. Right, so they're done. Now this is our, this is our Mossy Meadow cardstock. It's 10.5 by the length of the A4 cardstock, and you're going to score it at 4 1/8. 10.5. Sorry, it's. Should we try again? It's 4 1/8 wide, or 10.5 centimeters by the length of the cardstock, and you are going to score it at 6 7/8 or 14.9 centimeters. So because for each of this you're making 2 cards, you will obviously need 2 bases. You will also need 2 pieces for the inside that are 5 7/8 by 3, 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. But the measurements will be on my blog post when that goes live. So these are my inside bits. So they're just like this. Okay, so before I start any colouring on the other ones, let's just ink up our stamp. And this is this little stamp from this Ornate style. And all I'm doing, let's put that out of the way, is turning it each time so that it kind of gives an effect in the corner. Sometimes it's easier to turn your cardstock than, in fact I'm going to do that one like that. And that one like that. Okay, so that's one. Two. 3. 4. Right, that's all our stamping done. I'm going to round the corners of these in a minute. I'm going to just leave them up there to dry. Okay, so we're going to do our colouring. Now I decided to colour mine differently, and I'll colour one and then finish one card. You don't want to sit and watch me colour them all, I'm quite sure. You'd be bored stupid by the end of it. You don't have to colour them all. You could just highlight one. Sorry, I slurped my tea there. You could just highlight one and not colour the rest. So I'm going to, I tell you what, I'm just going to do the daisy on this one and perhaps the leaf, and that's it. The rest is going to be plain, and then we will colour a whole one and we'll do a comparison. Right, so I've got my favourite yellow at the moment, which is Mango Melody, but I do know I absolutely love Bumblebee that's coming. So I'm just going to colour the centres of the daisies. Like that. I'm just going to make them a bit darker just around this edge. Around there. Around this edge. Kind of around there, look. Okay. Now, daisies are technically white, but I'm using very vanilla cardstock for a change. And I decided that the light petal pink was a really great colour. I tested lots of colours. This was a really great colour just to give the daisies some colour without making them really bright. I know you get Michaelmas daisies, which are different colours. I wanted to keep these just quite light. I'm just going to do those two. Now, although you can hear the noise from the pens, I'm not pressing very hard on them at all because they're obviously the blenders. I tend to use the bullet end because I find my colouring is far more accurate with that end. These are alcohol pens and I absolutely love them. They blend absolutely seamlessly. And we've got amazing colours in them, lots of colours. So they're really lovely. I think I use these as much as my watercolour pencils, and my least used ones are the Many Marvellous markers. I use them in different ways, but I tend to colour in my blenders and my watercolour pencils. Right, so that's that one. Right, I'm going to use the light old olive and a dark old olive. There's nothing like a bit of old olive. And we're just going to highlight the stem and the leaf. You wait, when I finish doing this, okay, she will go up in the garden and lay in the sun and be absolutely quiet. She hates it because I've shut the kitchen door. And I never shut them out, apart from bedtime when they sleep in their beds. But normally they're allowed wherever anybody else is. But if I had them both in here while I was doing a live, it would be pandemonium. And they would be running all over the place. They'd want me to throw a ball. So we wouldn't get much crafting done. You guys might find it a bit funny, but it would be very distracting for me. So that's why they're shut out there. It's not that they're, in any pain whatsoever. They've got lots of toys, they've got water, they can get out into the garden. They're okay really. So yeah. She doesn't like it when I sit and craft for too long because it takes attention away from them, and they like it if I'm doing stuff with them. They're just like children really. Right, so that's my leaves. So we're just going to add some, I tell you what, we need this stemlet, that one and that one. Just going to add, with the pullet end again, a little bit of shading. And when this first goes on, you first do this, I look at it and think, oh, I really ruined that. That shading's much darker. Doesn't look very good. Let's do that one there. And then you leave it to soak in and the alcohol to absorb. And it really does, work beautifully. I'll be honest, I'm not the best at this. I've seen far better. But I do enjoy doing it. And it's my interpretation of it. You just want to blend that in. You can just add a little bit more colour, perhaps going down the middles. Those leaves tend to have this V of colour down the middle. There you go. So I think that's all I'm going to do on that one. Okay. The only other thing I did on each one was I used my early espresso, and I daubered all around the edge of the panel. I just think it gives a really nice finished look. I wanted to do something a bit different than the Mossy Meadow. So I chose this because obviously it's in the same colour family. Just taking it round the edge. Right, let's put that to one side. Just moved all my grid paper. Right, okay. Right, so here's one of my card bases. So before we do anything else, I'm just going to punch all the corners of my card base. Okay, move those bits out of the way. And one of these. Just moving the punch rather than the cardstock. Don't think my brain is quite right today, actually. I know probably some of you are going to go, that's normal, but it's a bit fuzzy today and my words aren't quite the way they should be. But there you go. Right, so let's pop this one in. So that gives you a beautiful space to write whatever you want to write. So this one's going to look completely different to the others because we haven't coloured it all. We've just selected one of the flowers to colour. And I think get the Wing Castella out. I know there's some in here. I'll just do the leaves. Just clean that off. So that's, you can, I don't know if you can see, it's shiny in the light. So that's completely different look to that one. Do you want me to continue colouring the other one? We've been here kind of half an hour. I'm happy to sit and colour and do the other one if you want me to. Does everybody want me to? Should we have some hearts or something if you want me to keep colouring? What do you reckon? Oh, there's hearts to keep colouring. Okay, it must be amusing all of you this morning, which is good. Okay, right, let's just do it while we've got the hole punch. Let's just do these bits. Keep them going around. Okay, pop those to one side. Oops. It's not really ideal to put 2 sheets of cardstock through your punch. Every now and again is okay. And this is quite a big punch, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it on most of our punches. Right, let's pop that out of the way. I tend to use that punch an awful lot, actually. Right, so let's pop this one inside. My lovely Tombow glue. Like that. Okay. That one's in the middle. Right, let's pop that to one side. Okay. And we'll do this one. So I'm going to do the daisies the same way. So I've got the light mango melody. I'm just going to colour the centres of the daisies. Okay. And I think I'm going to have the little flowers as mango melody this time as well. So each time I do this, I colour all the flowers differently. So let's do these differently. And I can add, I'm going to add some little pearls in or sparklies into the centres of these flowers, which is what I've done on the other two. Because you can't have a card without some bling, can you? It's like asking a girl to go out with without her lashes. Oh, They are at the moment, but never mind. The furthest I'm venturing is Asda. Amy actually let me go to Asda with her last night. It's the first time for ages. Can't say it was a very nice experience, really. We queued up to get in. Okay, that's fine. But you're just really too scared to speak to anybody and be down the same aisle as anybody, and, you know. But I suppose that's the way the world is at the moment, isn't it? So I was happy to come back and be ensconced in my little house with my little garden. And but that's by the by. We got everything we needed, so that was fine. I cooked last night, so somebody else's turn to cook tonight. Well, I say I cooked, actually. Amy helped. We made homemade pork and apple meatballs in a tomato sauce, and Amy grated the apples, and she did all the mixing and made the balls and popped them all together and baked them in the oven before we added them to the tomato sauce. So yeah, she's really good in the kitchen. Right, so I'm just continuing to lay down the lighter shade of Mango Melody. Okay, so now we're going to go back in with the dark shade. I'm going to highlight my centres of my daisies as we did before. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to go all the way round where the little lines are on these little flowers. I'm just going to go in and highlight with the dark Mango Melody. It just gives them some dimension. Can you see? Stampin' Up are very clever. They do give us a pretty good indication of where to highlight with all these little marks. A bit like when you were at school and drawing flowers, perhaps you would draw some lines down your petals. So I wonder if I've inspired you all to do some colouring today. I like colouring. I find it very therapeutic. Right, nearly done. Okay, so that's all of those colours, and we're going to put centres in those, so that's fine. Let's go in and do our daisies. And I'm just going to add a colour in. No, I'm not going to do it all. I like them completely shaded on these. This light petal pink just adds a little bit of colour to them. This would be an amazing stamp to heat emboss. Would really be beautiful done heat embossed. Perhaps in a colour and not coloured. Would be really, really beautiful. I'm going to do a few of these with heat embossing and a couple of other techniques. I just need to sort out an extension lead so I can have the heat gun plugged in, and I'm hoping you won't mind the noise. Perhaps it'll be very quick. Right, so we've got another bit of daisy there as well, look. Well, this daisy gets around. Right, so that's our daisy. So let's do our leaves. So again, a bit of old olive. We're going to do the light first. There. Just going to bring that in like that. These make it really easy to colour. They blend beautifully. You don't have to be amazing at colouring. They kind of blend and do an awful lot of it for you, actually. And I'm I'm not pressing hard at all. There's no pressure on the nib. She's off again, bless her. Right. There we go. So this stamp set is available in the new catalogue. It's available now online, and I can order it as well. But it is available to everybody from the 3rd of June. It's available to everybody now, should I say. But the new catalogue goes live on the 3rd of June. If you are watching me and you haven't got a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like a catalogue, please drop me a text message or an email, or sign up, do the catalogue request form on my blog, which is www.crunchycrafts.co.uk, and I will happily send you out a catalogue for free. They'll be going out this week, but I've always got a supply. If you've got any questions, you can get in touch with me and I'll do my best to be able to help you. Let's put the stems in. Right, there we go. Right, so we're going to add... Oh, hang on. And around the little flowers. Okay. Now we're going to add the darker green highlight in a minute. Just check I've got all of them there. Yep. Just add some darker green. Just to highlight the veins in our leaves, really. A bit like the veins in our hands as we get older. There we go. So, there's been lots of sneak peeks from other demonstrators on Pinterest and stuff of different products. I did my catalogue unboxing the other week, so you all had sneak peeks of products. I've definitely got a favourite out of what I've ordered already, and I can't wait for the normal ordering session to start on the 3rd of June, because there's a couple that I really love. My favourite flower is in the catalogue this year, and bits and pieces, so that's very cool. Right, I think I'm going to do... what colour to do that one? Bit of Calypso Coral, or shall we do a bit of pink? Calypso Coral or Flirty Flamingo? Okay, hearts for Calypso Coral, which is the peachy colour, which is this colour, or thumbs up for Flirty Flamingo. What do we think? Calypso Coral or Flirty Flamingo? What do you reckon? So Flirty Flamingo is this one, and Calypso Coral is this one. I'm just waiting for some... Oh, we've got one heart and one... Oh, we've got... Oh, it's very even at the moment. Oh, perhaps more hearts. More hearts, Calypso Coral, yes? Okay, right. So there we go. Right, so I've got my light Calypso Coral. just gonna go around the edges. These remind me of dahlias. I think that's right, dahlias. Not the best in the garden. I was one of these kids whose parents used to drag them round garden centres, kicking and screaming. And also, you know, when you go out for days and you go to these beautiful houses and stuff, I really appreciate them now. But we used to go on walks, and Mum would point out the plants, and you know, her garden is beautiful, as I've said before. She's got really green fingers, so I kind of grew up knowing all these things, and they're there. It's surprising actually what's there in the back of my mind that I do remember now. I kind of like do remember some of it. I definitely know what delphiniums and foxgloves are, but yeah, these kind of remind me of dahlias. Or chrysanthemums. No, more dahlias than chrysanthemums, I think. Chrysanthemums, I think, have longer, skinnier petals than a dahlia. I'm sure if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me in the text feed. Not that I can see it from here. The postman's just been. It's very busy in the street today. Right, okay, right, let's just add some darker colour. Right, so that's a daisy one. So I'm not kind of like, and this looks awful when it first goes on. I was like, wow, that's really much darker. But I'm going to go back over it in a minute. Just really following the shading lines that Stampin' Up have put down in it, not doing too much more. Right, oh, on this end. Okay. Right, let's go back in. Just going to overlay again. You can see it changes the colour when you go back in a second time. It makes that blend in a bit better. I tend to do my light first and then my dark, and then go over it again, because I always think if you do all your dark first and it's wrong, you can't take it away, but you can always add more. Even when I'm doing something that's got quite a shadow to it, that's always my reasoning. Do the light first, then go in with your dark. I know other demonstrators do it the other way round, but I'd rather do less and then have to add than do far too much and spoil the whole project, really. Right. Okay, so there we go. Right, so again, I'm going to get my dauber out. Definitely got something on my feet. There it is, look. You can see there's going to have to be some extra sparklies. Right, it's going to go all around the edge. Right, Pop that to one side. Right, we're going to stick this down. Making sure I've got it up the right way. I haven't done that on camera. I dare say there will be a first time. Right, let's find some sparklies. Put my dauber away. Move the memento. Right, let's see what we've got in the box. Ooh. They're a bit big for the little flowers. I could just do some of them instead of on all the little flowers. And just, I won't have gold ones to do on the little ones. Right, I know I've got more of those. Pokey tool, there it is. I would be using my take your pick tool because it does make it much easier for these. There we go. Even that little one down there. You can do as many or as few of these as you like, so you don't have to do the whole lot. Depends how generous you want to be with your bling. Oh. Right, so I think I'm going to, that's balanced that way. I really need to get rid of that. So we'll put one there. One there. And one there. Right, so that's that one. Okay. Right. Something for the centre of those daisies. Aha, right. I love these, and these are retiring. I'm so upset these are retiring. Two little ones there. One. Two. Did all that work colouring those in. Look, now I've coloured them up. Covered them up. One. Two. Oh, very pretty daisies. Just seeing if I've got any more of those little gold ones in an open packet. No. I'm just done with those green ones. We'll just have one. Two, three. Okay. So, one lot of stamping, or one piece of equipment and stamping, and you're making 2 cards by turning your 2 pieces of paper round on your Stamparatus at each time. I've really loved making these. I love the effect. And I can't wait to show you more things like that coming up. There's lots of great uses for the Stamparatus. So I love those. I hope you like them as much as I do. I'm going to be putting some stuff on the Crunchy Crafts page and in a newsletter that's coming out about some paper shares, the DSP in the catalogue, and also the new In Colour Club that will be taking place. So look out for that. Look out for this month's newsletter that will be hitting your inbox if you've subscribed to my newsletter. If you haven't, go to crunchycrafts.co.uk and subscribe to the newsletter, and you'll get those regularly as well. I hope you've really enjoyed seeing these. I've enjoyed making them. I'd love to see your comments about the bad colour names in the in the comments. But don't forget, when Stamping Up make these names, so we had Mossy Mean, didn't we, is what I said. Their colours always start with the same letters. So perhaps I'll read the comments in a minute and see if there's some funny ones. Right, it's been nice seeing you all this morning. I hope you all stay safe and well, and I will see you all again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.